Following The Flash and an imminent DC Universe reboot in its aftermath, what will become of the characters seen in the upcoming DC movie itself? Welcome to Nerd Insights, your go-to channel for all things nerdy. And since this is a news channel, you need to be subscribed here with the notification bell activated. That way, whenever a new piece of news drops, you'll receive a notification, and just by reading the title, you'll know what it's all about and can decide whether or not to watch that video. Although the prospect of the Flash movie bringing about the DC Universe's new status quo is exciting, there are two primary concerns regarding the fallout. Following the upcoming movie starring Ezra Miller as DC's fastest man alive who will rewrite the existing timeline, one has to wonder what will become of the characters seen in The Flash itself. As it stands, the future of Michael Keaton's Batman and Sasha Calle's new Supergirl after the events of The Flash is quite ambiguous. In The Flash, Barry Allen will attempt to race back in time to prevent the murder of his mother. However, those actions will damage the stability of the DC multiverse thanks to The Flash, creating a domino effect and collision of worlds where Barry will be working with a version of himself to try and set things right. Although it's also confirmed that Keaton's Batman and Calle's Supergirl will both agree to help both versions of Barry, their fates after the movie are a legitimate concern. Losing Michael Keaton's Batman and Sasha Calle's Supergirl are concerns for the Flash movie's reset. The return of Michael Keaton's Batman in The Flash is incredibly exciting. He's arguably one of the best live-action caped crusaders, and his return via the multiverse will give Barry an all-new Dark Knight to look up to and interact with alongside Ben Affleck's Batman, who will also appear. However, Keaton currently has no known future thanks to the cancellation of DC's Batgirl movie as well as a rumored live-action Batman Beyond movie where he would have trained Terry McGinnis to become the Dark Knight of Neo-Gotham. Additionally, the future of Calle's Supergirl after The Flash is equally unclear. There's been no confirmation regarding her fate just yet and if she'll continue playing Kara Zor-El in the new DC universe envisioned by the new heads of DC Studios, James Gunn and Peter Safran. The lack of certainty is worrisome, especially considering the trailers and marketing for The Flash in which she looks to be quite amazing as Superman's Kryptonian cousin. Could Michael Keaton's Batman still return after The Flash movie? Initially, there were rumors that Michael Keaton had a cameo in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom alongside Ben Affleck, mirroring their respective returns as Batman and The Flash. However, those rumors were floating before Batgirl's cancellation and Gunn and Safran's appointment as studio heads. It was also suggested that Keaton would effectively replace Affleck in the DC universe as the primary Dark Knight, a concept that has since been debunked. As such, this rumored cameo might have been scrapped, alongside Keaton's future roles as the classic caped crusader following The Flash. Beyond the aforementioned Aquaman 2 cameo that may or may not still be happening, the return of Michael Keaton's Batman largely depends on what DC Studios does with their Elseworlds movies such as The Batman and Joker, both of which aren't connected to the main DC universe and exist within their own continuities as standalone features. Although it's hard to see a live-action Batman Beyond movie happening with Keaton when DC Studios already has plans to debut a new Batman franchise alongside Matt Reeves' The Batman trilogy, there's technically still a possibility, however slim. Could Sasha Calle be the DC Universe's Supergirl? In comparison, the return of Sasha Calle's Supergirl post The Flash feels far more likely, especially given James Gunn's love for the upcoming DC movie, effectively taking on her cousin's role from the original Flashpoint storyline seen in the comics. The Flash's Kara looks to be darker than past versions, presumably due to her years of incarceration in what looks to be a Russian prison. However, this could be perfect for the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow movie currently in development for the new DC Universe, a movie inspired by the comic miniseries of the same name from Tom King and Bilquis Evely. With any luck, The Flash won't fully erase Michael Keaton's Batman and Sasha Calle's Supergirl in its aftermath. Both are far too dynamic to completely lose in the new DC Universe that's set to be formed thanks to Barry Allen. While it would be somewhat of a challenge to find the right spot for Keaton's next appearance, the door will hopefully be left open for something like a Batman Beyond feature down the line. Likewise, it would be a massive tragedy if Calle's first appearance as Supergirl is also her last. In conclusion, the Flash movie is about to give us a whole new DC universe to explore, with Michael Keaton's Batman and Sasha Calle's Supergirl joining the mix. So, don't miss out on any updates, subscribe with the bell activated, share this video, and leave a like to support our channel. Let's embark on this nerdy journey together. Thanks for watching, and until next time.